Hi y'all, today we're going to be talking about the SG-A25, the automatic shotgun available to the NSO. It's okay. You know what, it's a pretty okay shotgun, but unfortunately it's outclassed by the Baron, the Viscount, and the SG-100, and honestly, unless you're going for the shotgun directive, I wouldn't really recommend using it. Admittedly, I've not Araximed it yet myself, I'm about 400 into it, but I don't see my opinion on it changing very much over the rest of it, because it is a painfully simple weapon, and this is kind of a problem. So you get 260 RPM, which is pretty high for a shotgun. 112 damage, out to 5 meters, with 6 pellets. So on a body shot, you hit for in the 700 range. You can also noteworthy one-shot headshot. This will never actually happen, because of some important pellet count stat that I'll talk about in a bit, but it is theoretically possible. Muzzle velocity is low at 275, but that doesn't matter on a shotgun. Reload speed is really slow at 3.3 long, 2.65 short. You get 6 rounds in the magazine, which will go up to 8 when you take extended, because you should take extended. An abysmal pellet spread stat of 4, which is some of the worst in the game, and just okay hip and aim accuracy. The A25 is rough. Honestly, don't get me wrong, there are times when being able to just hold down the trigger and go monkey mode on a door, or monkey mode on some target is nice, but with only 8 rounds in the magazine, you're going to run out of ammo quick. You're going to spend a lot of time reloading, and that reload speed is not pleasant. In addition, thanks to its abhorrent pellet spread of 4, good luck actually hitting anything past 10 meters, because good luck actually killing them, because even with the Smart Choke, you're going to struggle to land shots. And the shotgun drops off really harshly, down to 50 damage at 20 meters. And it's... Don't get me wrong, it's funny to use within about 10 meters. In every other situation, you are literally better off with the Baron or the SG-100. And even then, you're still better off with the Baron or SG-100, just because they're far more reliable than the A25. It's funny to hold down the trigger, don't get me wrong, but I would not consider it an actually good shotgun. So, in the way of attachments, your scope doesn't matter. Take the 1, because, what, are you going to take a 3.4 in a shotgun? Obviously, Smart Choke is mandatory here. You just get 40% better accuracy while aiming, which is really huge when your pellet spread is 4. 20% loss is pretty big from the hip, and you will hip fire it from time to time. Don't get me wrong, you will hip fire it from time to time. But the benefit is just too much to not take. In the rail, the extended mag is the only option here. Now, with the SG-100, I made an argument for the comfort grip. I wouldn't do it here. With only 6 rounds, you need more ammo. Because there are going to be times where you need that whole mag to drop somebody because they're just a little bit too far away, or you just get unlucky on your pellet spread. And you're going to spend a lot of time under reload anyway. The extended mag will slightly minimize that. Of course, the comfort grip is fine if you want the equip speed, but I would just take the extended. You need those 2 rounds. You need those 2 rounds a lot. Dark light is throw, laser is a throw. In the ammo slot, honestly, both of them are junk. Flechettes simply kneecap your close quarters performance a little too much, and the gun is already shitty at long range anyway. Long range for a shotgun, might I add. The gun is shitty past, like, 10 meters anyway, so taking flechettes doesn't really matter when your pellets are still not going to land. Like, it's not actually going to change a whole lot, and you're just gimping your ability to actually kill things in close. Slug shotguns are, of course, junk on pretty much every single auto shotgun in the game. Just don't take them. They're not worth your time. Alright, so now jumping into live play, it is currently 8:18 PM on Connery, which means it's a dead server, but that means we have Nasons. Problem is, we're Terran, so we have to come in from the shitty side. Still, we have Nasons, and that's a good thing. Actually get a relatively good drop, too. So the A25 is going to end up playing a lot like the other shotguns I've talked about, the Baron and the SG-100, except it's just not as reliable. That's really the problem with it at the end of the day. It's a fun shotgun, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of fun to just hold mouse 1 on somebody and watch them melt right before you. Problem is, you don't have any range. You take all the bad... Oh, we actually have a good center here. You take all the bad traits of a shotgun, and the auto shotties, all of them really. This isn't limited to the A25, because they're all pretty much stat clones of each other. Excellent. It just sucks past, like, 5 meters. Don't get me wrong, within those 5 meters, it's great. It's wonderful. It's a lot of fun to use. You can hold mouse 1 on people and hear chunk, 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 chunk. Anytime when you're not within 5 meters of a target, you are in for a bad time. Like, I just...
Looks like I put so much work into...
It's just...
It's just wasted effort now.
It's just not good. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a relatively easy Araxium, and if you're going for the Rutherford, you don't have a choice unless you're willing to buy a Baron to skip this, but then you have to do the HSG, which is even worse. So, unless you're willing to buy 2 Barons, you're stuck with a shitty shotgun on this directive. Now, the A25 is better than the HSG. Do not mistake me. If I had to pick one to go for the directive, which I did, it's the A25. The A25 is far and away the better of the 2 evils. But in a game where it's hard to genuinely force engagements to always be at close ranges, you are going to run into situations a lot where the A25 is just not going to perform. And sure, this is going to happen with other shotguns, don't get me wrong. It's going to happen with the Baron, it's going to happen with the SG-100, it's going to happen with the Viscount, whatever. It happens a lot more. It happens I didn't know if he was aiming at me. It happens a lot more with the A25 than it feels like it does with other shotguns. It's not bad. It's just so kneecapped that there's not really a point where I could say, you should definitely run the A25. Because if you just want a shotgun on NSO, the starter SG-100 is excellent. For what it is, it's an excellent shotgun, and it's probably one of the best shotguns in the game right now. It's great. The A25, on the other hand, is fun, and it's a fine shotgun if you're going to go for Rutherford. But if you're not doing that, well, you're just not putting yourself in a good situation a lot of the time. You'd have a better time with the SG-100, the Baron, the Viscount. And I know I keep repeating it, but that's because that's really what the SG-100 is. It's a lot of fun in super, super close range where you can actually afford to hold the trigger and kill things. And past 5 meters, pellet spread and damage fall off just ruin you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Of course, you can position yourself adequately. You can do everything you can to try and put yourself in more favorable locations with the A25. I'm not going to pretend like you can't make the gun work, because it's not terrible. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a shotgun. It still puts out a load of damage in close range. But is it a go-to shotgun? No, it's not. It's really not. And I felt this way for the last 418 kills on the A25, and I don't see it changing. If someone thinks they have a loadout that will save this thing, please do let me know. But it's my understanding now, given that all the auto shotties seem to be stat copies of each other, that they haven't aged too well following Arsenal. It didn't help that these shotguns got nerfed, specifically the A25. I'm not certain about the others. But the A25 got nerfed in the 10-year anniversary update, which cut its damage tier down by a whole 125 to 112. And that's big, especially on a shotgun that, well, to make a little funny joke, this thing is less accurate than most news these days. It's not a great time. It's not a great time. And that's all I really have to say about it in recap. It's fun. I mean, of course it's fun to hold the mouse button on somebody in close ranges. But why would you bring it when the SG-100 is a better shotgun for default, the Baron is much better than it, and even the Viscount is more fun to use? It's fine, it's just, it's so kneecapped, so limited on range right now that it's really hard to justify running unless you're going for Rutherford. Thank you all, and I will see you all again another time. Bye.